My name is Brian Durkin, not Duncan, sorry buddy. I work with companies in three ways. I'm a marketing advisor. I work with a company on helping them find better markets, better methods, and improve their mindset. Because if you raise the tide, all boats rise. And today we're going to take you a little bit, we're going to talk about methods. We're going to talk about 7 ways to hire your virtual team members. Who here has ever heard of a virtual team member or VA outsource company? Usually it's about 10% of the crowd. Eric and I talked about it the other day. So we're going to talk about how to do it without striking out. Recently, because of Kids in Entrepreneurship, I had a chance to be on stage with Steve Forbes and Al Mullally at a conference in Dallas, Texas, in the end of March, and it was a wonderful experience. And that is actually me standing next to Steve going, I should probably take a picture with the guy because I'm never going to see him again. And as entrepreneurs, who here wish they had more time in their day? Everyone should raise their hands. I know. Who has stuff on their plate that they should get done that they don't know how to get done? Right? We all do, right? We all have this. We're all entrepreneurs. We all have ADHD. So we have to just let it go. So if you have to go from business owner to operator, you can't be all things to all people. You need to focus on your gift and let someone else do the rest. Because if you stop working on singles, all my stuff is business and baseball. I apologize, I did this presentation a week ago. If you stop focusing on the singles in your business, the things that are easy, the things that are comfortable, and you start focusing on things that what I call are triples or home runs, or things of higher value, your enterprise value as your business can increase dramatically, and your lifestyle can change. Because if you can plan your day, and plan your life, and plan your business, you can find things to do that are more aligned with your strategy and your events, right? And I tell people, just because I can paint, doesn't mean I want to be a painter, right? So in my business, we don't really have time to go into it, but I had a document management business in New Jersey. We sold to litigation support community around asbestos litigation. So if you see those TV ads in the middle of the night that say, have you or a loved one died from mesothelioma? They were getting sued 125,000 times a year. The average settlement was $2,500. I had a document scanning company, and we were trying to scan and code documents. I had 4 people, we could do 2 bankers boxes a day. I met a guy at a trade show in India in 1997. Within 18 months, we were doing 300,000 pages a day, which is about 100 boxes of stuff, right? So I've been doing this for a long time, and I thought everyone did it. So what do virtual assistants do? Well, I'm going to talk about sales and marketing related stuff, because that's my business. So if you think about a sales and marketing related virtual assistant, doesn't matter where they are, they do admin related things. For me, they do email for me. They make sure that my 21,000 unread emails are not that important. They help me focus on my LinkedIn messages to make sure that I do a lot of outreach on LinkedIn. So when important messages come in, I don't have to pay attention to it. They also do graphics for me, custom brochures, logos, branding, anything else. They help me write books. It's my second one. They help me with content. So people really struggle with, how do I get out and take my message and bring it to the market? Well, there are people down the street, around the world, who are probably experts in your business and can help you come up with a content plan for a whole year, right? They help me find new customers. They help me research old ones. They help me find networking events. Just to do those things, if I were to do that every day, that would be my full-time job. I have no employees, 0. I had 200, never doing that again. But I do have a virtual team right now of just 3.5 people. I have a full-time funnel builder, which is my marketing advisory business. I have a full-time virtual administrative assistant who handles basically whatever I can think of to throw at her. And then I have another person who does graphics and stuff related to that. And that's the advisory business, right? So we build these sales funnels. It's an automated sales thing. It can be complicated. And then we also use the VAs to create custom profiles. Who in here sells business to business? Anyone? About 25%. How important it would be for you if you could figure out everything about your customer. You can go to LinkedIn, find out how many employees they have, go to Glassdoor, see if they have any open job positions, look at Corporation Wiki to see if they own companies similar to yours, look at open jobs, find company news presses, and give you a 2-page summary of that opportunity for about $6, if that took them 2 days, right? So the idea is, Rome wasn't built today, you need to start small. And neither was your business, right? So there's a concept in our marketing world called A pile, B pile, C pile. The A pile stuff is that stuff I need to do today, and that's probably me or you. It's the stuff you need to do. This so-called B pile stuff, who's got a big old wish list that they can figure out if they can get it done? My wish list is gigantic, right? So I take the B pile stuff, I figure out how to get it to the VA stuff and figure out how to do it, right? Because we just get it moving. Because velocity creates change, and change creates opportunity, and opportunity makes money, and I like money. This is all about how you do the things you think you need to do but don't really want to. Things like follow-ups, emails, organizational stuff. Research is huge. If you're smarter about your customer, even if you sell B2C, you can really find out what they're interested in, find out what their likes are, right, if it's not value, right? Things like reports, operational stuff, even the technology stuff. I started out in the technology business. That was my thing. That's how I figured out how this works. The technology business is probably the most mature in this because you've heard people hire teams of developers in India. And that still happens very much today. It really happens in the enterprise. So the big companies do that, and then they build teams to figure out how to talk to them, and then they build other teams to figure out how to fix the crap that they screwed up in the first place. So the idea is, how do we as small business owners and entrepreneurs build a system? Well, we just simplify the approach. We look at each part of the system. Should have no less than 3 steps and no more than 10. If you can narrow that down, you can document it, use some tools, and figure out how that happened in a very simple way. Because everything we do has steps, if you think about it. If we're doing something as simple as doing billing, something as simple as doing pre-call research, if you have salespeople or in sales in any way, you have to know something about your customer, or your salespeople are wasting their time. You can tell I do a lot of that, right? How we post to social media, kind of hit or miss, but you still should do it. Just about everything that our business owners need to do has steps. So I'm going to share with you an example of what my VA does on LinkedIn. Right, so we go and build a list in LinkedIn. We have a search criteria. We look for companies of a certain size. We look for a certain geography, because as I speak around the country, I want to create workshops. So now, I don't just work here, but I work in Atlanta. I have customers in Chicago. I have customers in New Jersey. I want to take advantage of that. I talk to only people that are owners or stakeholders in the business. They have to be at least 3 years old. Typically, they're in technology and consulting. I have the most credibility in that space. That's typically where I spend my time. Right? Then they also do outreach. She has a series of messages that she sends to them, all on my behalf. And then she manages inbound and outbound messages, both on LinkedIn and email, as it relates to this specific thing. And she does it every single day. If you did something for 2 hours a day, how effective could you be? Pretty freaking effective. I had to turn it off because the offer I was doing wasn't scalable, but we're now back to it again, right? So that's just for me, that's my business. But if you can think in your business, what are 2 or 3 things that you could get off your plate to be effective? And that's where this idea of using these virtual assistants will help you. Because you really need to think about training them. And this is the hard part. People say they don't have the time to train, but they have the time to do it 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 times. So I challenge you to spend an hour, write down those 3 to 5 steps, and then you can train them, right? And it could be something simple as email, canned responses, know when to put something in a CRM, how to handle drafting letters. Yes, the Postal Service is still in business. It's actually quite effective if you go right. In this case, everybody becomes replaceable. You build a series of system in your business. Now all of a sudden, if Mary doesn't show up and she's bugging you because she's texting her husband, boyfriend on Facebook all day, not being responsible, now they become replaceable. And if you think of Ford's assembly line, and then when you build systems, I work with clients to help them figure out how to write things down first, record it, put it on video, and now all of a sudden after 6 months or a year, you build a great library stuff. Because then you don't need to worry about it. Communications is key, whether they're down the street or across the globe. It's either what works for you, what works for your virtual team. It could be something as phone, email, chat. If you do offshore stuff, a lot of them like chat because they're very conscientious of their understanding of the English language. They chat fluent, but don't speak it. And in some cases, video and training works very well because with video, they can go back. You can tell I talk fast. They can slow things down, watch it 2 or 3 or 4 times, and not be embarrassed if they don't feel like they understand you, right? I personally use a combination of anything. And then me, I have communication plans with my team. Some of them every day, some every week, but I'm constantly providing feedback. And I teach my clients, constantly provide feedback. It's only going to get better if you help them. And you need to hire slow and fire fast. And you have to manage how they interact with you. Who thinks culture is a big deal in business? I do, right? So you talk to someone from New York, totally different from talking to someone from Atumwa, Iowa, or it's an example I use. No different here than if you're using someone in Davao, Philippines, or in Bangladesh, or India, or Eastern Europe, or Northern Africa, or Romania, Ukraine, wherever. Because you think about this global village we live in today, there's plenty of global talent who want to treat you like a customer, not a boss. They're willing and able to work with the idea of this enhanced communication boundary we live in. The world is definitely flat. I literally have people with my clients that are in the US, they're in the Philippines, they're in India, it just depends on the skill set. And they have this global constant improvement process on the stuff that's important to the business owner, not that's important to the company or whatever. And then you obviously with the world of clouds and everything else. So here's an example. I have a full-time virtual assistant. I pay her $250 a month. She is happy. She lives in the suburbs of Davao, Philippines. If she was working in a call center where she used to work, she made $140 a month, had an hour drive and a crappy bus ride each way to work, to have a cubicle that was 1/3 the size of the desk that's in front of you. So I doubled her salary. She works at home with her kids. For me, if you work with me, there's 3 concepts. You have to have fun, family's always first, and it has to be profitable. So ghosting is an issue where people disappear. So for her, she gets days off whenever I don't even care, because it's only $250 a month. I just make her send me pictures. So now, every 2 weeks, rather than someone disappearing, I get, hey, I'm going to my son's promotion, because he got promoted from 4th grade to 5th grade, and I get a picture of her with her grandmother. So she wants to work, she does what she can, it's not always perfect, but for $250 a month, costs a Starbucks a day, I have a full-time employee willing, able to work for me. Social media people, typically $400 a month. And then there's a couple resources in the US, stay-at-home moms that want to work. They're perfectly happy to make $25 or $35 an hour, and they're probably experts in what you need them to do, but they only want to work 2 to 3 hours a day. And they want to be able to work from their house, because they have to get the kids to school, come home, and they're CPAs, accountants, bookkeepers, process managers, project managers, whatever. And there's tons of people that want to do that because they want to manage their own schedule. So how do you want to do it? You work with those that want to work with you, not the ones that show up for your job interview. Pay them regularly, don't hold out, be patient, fire quickly, reward loyalty, not activity. My dream for me on our year anniversary is getting a new computer, $400. That's a month's salary for her. For me, it's $400. She's never gonna leave, and she's gonna always communicate with me and let me know that, hey, this is the way to do it. If you decide to go the global village route, you have to really understand culture. And not everyone understands how we talk to each other. Talk fast, I want it done, I'm doing that New York, New Jersey thing. You really have to understand the Filipino culture is very submissive, it's a Catholic country, they're very much pleasers. Different parts of the world are more aggressive. Different cultures will tell you it's going to be done tomorrow when they're going to do it whenever the hell they feel like it, right? It just all depends on the culture piece of it, and you'll hear more about that in a second. Oh, there's done versus done. So there's done, which means it's complete. Then there's done that says I'm going to do it whenever I feel like it. And there are parts of the world that I will not share with you here, but if you ask me privately, when they say done, because of their 100 years or 200 years of being a subservient culture to a global power, that done means I'm going to do whatever I feel like it, right? So, how to learn more. So I do this in workshops for people, but for people today, I've got a little special offer. I'm actually going to give everyone here, if you give me feedback on how you think about using virtual teams, I'm going to give you a copy of my new book. I'm going to autograph it and mail it to your home or office. I'm not going to sell your information. I'm just asking for your feedback because I'm doing a master class, which is an online training class to learn my 22 years of experience. And rather than paying for a strategy day with me, you can have we're about 90% done with a masterclass on how to hire people, and we break it into skill sets, so that's really what I'm looking for feedback. We also do group and private coaching and workshops, so if your company is looking at taking parts of the business that you can't seem to hire people, an example would be a dental practice is trying to reactivate old patients. We hired a call center person from the Philippines who makes 200 phone calls a day for $4 an hour. And then you get an in-depth learning how to do it. When I was in the agency business, I hired someone to do a website. I charged them $8,000. I paid someone $800. How my virtual teams, we build virtual homes for developers. So we've got a new business where we work with designers building spec homes all over the country, and we design their houses. We build their houses for percentages of what it would normally cost because we have this cool village. How I use EAs, right? How to get samples. How to hire actual statements of work. How to write a job ad that somewhere else is going to respond to. Where to find them. There's literally hundreds of websites. You can go figure them out. I can tell you there's a dozen of them that are going to be more effective than others, and then have checks and balances depending on how much time you all want to put into it, because if you don't put much into it, you won't get much out. How to hire and fire them and more. So, thank you so much.